The next project on this truck, I have to put a new cross member in, and that's what I'm going to start working on today. Before I can cut this cross member out, I got to clean all the crap out of it. So that's next. It's got like 50 tons of road debris in it. This is the poorest design for a cross member I've ever seen. Ford really dropped the ball on this one. That's about as good as it's going to get, I guess. Tonight's job is to finish cutting out the ends of these stubs on the ends of the cross members. So let's do that. One thing I'm trying to be real careful of is to not hit these brake lines. So I'm going slow and I'm working it in, so we're getting it, but I can't hit these brake lines. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go get a piece of steel and lay in here. Now I got to get a grinding stone and grind all this down flat. So let's gear that up. Side's done. Do the other side. Now there's no brake lines to work around down here. It's all clean. So this one should go faster. Great. This is the old cross member, and you can see that it is really rotted. The way it's set in here is the way it was on the truck. This was up, and it collected debris in here for 17 years, and you can see what it did to the cross member. The ends here that I just got done taking out and grinding out on the frame, they were open as well. And all that debris went down and sat against the frame of the truck on both sides. Now this is a kind of a low mileage truck. It's only got like 130,000 miles on it. Most of the trucks of this age have like 250 to 300,000 miles on them, so they had a lot more road time. So I would imagine that the frame on those trucks would be compromised here and probably be bad. I knocked all the pit and all the scale off my frame, and my frame is not compromised. So I'll take you under the truck and show you where we're at. Now this is the driver's side of the truck. This is where the stub used to be, and it was welded up here, and it was riveted on here, and it was riveted on here. It had two ears that came up, and there was another rivet right here, which I'm not even going to remove, because I'm going to use these little platforms here, because this is really good steel, and I'm going to set my plates on top of that for the new cross member, so I don't have to hold them, and I don't have to clamp them or do anything. I should be able to set them on here. You can see here that my frame is not compromised. The frame is still good. And I can't believe it, because all that crap came down in here and laid against this frame right here. And I can't believe that it didn't take out the frame. And it's the same on both sides. This side of the frame is in really good shape too. There's nothing wrong with it. I just beat all the corrosion and rust and everything off it. And the frame is not compromised on this side either, so I lucked out. So now it's time to build the new cross member and put it in here. But I'm very happy with the job I got, and I'm very happy that my frame's not broken, compromised, and rotted out. It's looking really good. And it won't do that again with the design that I'm going to make. So let's get started. We're welding up this cross member today. I'm getting ready to put it in the truck. I've got this piece welded on here in a level. That's why this table works out so well. So let's finish welding the bottom of this. See, when I'm welding on a table, I get pretty good welds. This table is awesome. Now we have to weld this side in. Got to get this level, and weld the end pieces on, and then go under and fit it. Let's see how I'm doing. Alright, now I'm going to fabricate up this end, get this piece welded on, then I'm going to take it under the truck and I'm going to test fit it and make sure it's exactly what I want. Got these the right length now. I'm going to weld this in. Perfect. Now I fit that underneath the truck and I had to tip this top out a little bit and it fits perfect. So I'm going to fill that gap and weld it in. Do that kind of thing on the welding table, but it's really hard to fill that gap underneath the truck. I filled that gap real nice and those welds look awesome. So I'm going to go under and configure it one more time Then I'm going to tack it here and tack it on the inside, and that's going to hold it just fine. These two aren't quite the same depth, so I got to grind the tall one down a little bit. Now we're going to build the other side of this, but I'm not going to weld it to this yet because I don't know exactly how it's going to fit under the truck. So we're going to weld it. Okay, before I go any further, I'm going to go under the truck and set that up and see how it fits. After doing all my fitting under the truck, I found that I needed an 1/8 inch. This cross member is an 1/8 inch short. So I've cut a piece of 1/8 inch steel. This is upside down right now, but I'm just using it to hold this. So what I'm going to be able to do is once I get this welded to the cross member, I'm going to be able to flip this over, take it in, and I will be able to weld up this side, up this side. I left myself just enough room here, and I'll weld it across the bottom, and then I'll weld these pieces here and here to the frame. Everything tells me it's going to fit. I can't put it in complete because it won't go in between the frame rails. I don't have enough room to do it, so I'm going to have to weld these pieces underneath, and I'm going to have to weld these on to the frame underneath. The frame is excellent. I've got it all cleaned up, so it's time to weld this all up and weld this onto here and go under the truck and weld it in. So let's do that. The dogs are barking. So my plan here is to tack this on and then move this out of the way and then completely weld this all the way around like I did here on this big plate. I decided right before I put it under the truck I made these short gussets, and I'm going to gusset that a little bit for extra strength. That's done. Let's put her in the truck. That's got that. I'm going to give it a little bit more up here, and then I'm going to weld it here on the bottom while I'm right here. Pretty hard to deal with the welding helmet in here, but I got it. Now we're going to weld this down here. I usually don't do my best welding on side hill, but that looks pretty good. That looks awesome. That ain't coming off. All right, let's go do the other side. That's coming off ever. This side is done. Nice weld. Wonderful. Don my welding mask one more time and get these done. There. That's on. I found that I had really good steel on the frame of this truck. It's 17 years old. So I figured this cross member here is going to last for the rest of the life of this truck, and I'll never have any problem with it because I put the seed down. None of the stuff is going to collect in it. These are open. Everything will drop through here. There won't be any road salt or road grime that will build up in here. So this is a good job. It's been a long haul and a lot of work. This frame, to clean it and get it all down to the point where I could weld to it, was really dirty and greasy and grimy and just absolutely amazing with grinding. And I didn't get into any of my brake lines here. My brake lines are fine. Everything looks great. But it was a dirty, scummy job, and I'm hoping I never have to do it again. So anyway, the cross-member job is done. This is a fluid film company called Crown. So instead of painting that cross-member, I'm going to put this on it. This is actually the transmission cover, but we'll get it too. I realized as I was editing video for this cross-member video that I had never shown the actual cross-member inside the truck. And here you can see how I tied it in and went out to the outside of the truck and actually welded it to the frame. And this is the actual cross member. It's a piece of C-channel, and I made all these gussets for it and ends, and you can see better over here on this end how I did this. This is how I welded it in. I welded this piece in as a gusset on each side down to this plate, and then there's two plates under here that go out and rest on a third plate here that's welded right directly to the frame. And I welded it down the sides, underneath, on the top, all the way around. This is a really stable unit here now. So you can see how this is all welded together, and it's worked fabulous. I haven't had any problem with it at all. And you can see all the welding there. I welded this piece on to hold all my wires and run them and route them across. And then this end is set up the same as the other end. I didn't damage any of my brake lines, and this is totally street legal. That's how I did it, and that's how I welded it all in. I thought I should definitely show that. Thanks for watching.